Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions, living the life you're supposed to live instead of the one you actually want? Well, that's the big question at the heart of E.M. Forster's amazing novel, A Room with a View. At its core, it's a story about a choice we all have to make between a safe, predictable room and a thrilling, maybe a little scary, view. It's all about breaking free and finding out who you really are. And this quote, this just nails it. It gets right to the heart of the main character, Lucy Honeychurch. She is so tired of trying to be this perfect ideal, the eternal woman. What she really wants, what she craves, is just to be her transitory self. You know, a real, messy, imperfect person living a life that's actually hers. That one single desire is what drives this entire story. So, part 1, A Room or a View. Our story kicks off not with some grand romance, but with a pretty simple complaint about a hotel room. But in a guest house in Florence, the small choice about where to sleep becomes a massive choice about how to live. Okay, so picture this. You're in Florence, one of the most beautiful, passionate cities on earth. But you're surrounded by English tourists who've basically packed up all their rigid, stuffy rules and brought them along. For them, life isn't about passion or beauty, it's all about what's proper. And this is Lucy's world, a world of polite chatter, ever-present chaperones, and a million unspoken rules. And here is the little spark that's gonna light the whole fire. Lucy and her cousin Charlotte have rooms that look out onto a totally boring courtyard. But then this father and son, the Emersons, offer to trade. Their rooms have this magnificent view of the river. Now, for Lucy, this is just a simple act of kindness. But for her chaperone, oh, it's a complete social nightmare. I mean, to accept a favor from strangers, especially these loud, unconventional people who actually say what they think, is just not done. See, this isn't really about a hotel room, is it? It's the central metaphor for the entire novel. The room, well, that represents the life Lucy is supposed to live. It's safe, it's conventional, it's all about propriety. But the view, that's everything else. A life of passion, of truth, of real, lived experience. So when Lucy is choosing a room, what she's really choosing is her future. Part 2, An Italian Awakening. So it's here, in Italy, a land of just unfiltered passion and beauty, where that view starts to look, well, pretty irresistible. The carefully built walls of Lucy's room are about to get some serious cracks. And the first crack appears with shocking, sudden violence. Lucy's out sightseeing, and she witnesses a man get stabbed to death right there in a public square. In an instant, that polite, predictable little world she knows is just shattered. She's face to face with the raw, brutal reality of life and death, and she faints, right into the arms of George Emerson. Now, while everyone else is trying to sort of smooth things over with social etiquette, George insists on facing what happened head-on, without getting muddled. He doesn't want to get confused by what he's supposed to feel. He offers honesty, not empty comforts. And for Lucy, this is a completely new way of being in the world, one that's based on truth, not just playing by the rules. The second crack, this one's a bit different. During a group trip to the countryside, Lucy wanders off into a field of violets. George, just completely overwhelmed by the beauty of the moment, kisses her. It wasn't planned, it definitely wasn't proper. It was just a pure, spontaneous act of passion, the ultimate expression of the view. Part 3, The English Muddle. Okay, so after all that passion in Italy, we get the pressure of England. Lucy is terrified by these new, powerful feelings, so she runs home and desperately tries to lock herself back inside the safe, suffocating room she's always known. And how does she do that? She gets engaged to Cecil Vyse. Now, on paper, this guy is perfect. He's cultured, he's from a great family, he's basically everything society tells her she should want. The only problem? He's cold, he's possessive, and he doesn't see her, the real her, at all. Cecil is the human embodiment of a room with no view. Forster describes Cecil as being like a Gothic statue. Yeah, he's beautiful and refined on the outside, but ultimately he's cold, rigid, and just incapable of real, messy human connection. He doesn't love Lucy as a person. He sees her as a beautiful work of art, something to be acquired and put on display. So, the choice for Lucy couldn't be clearer, right? On one side, you have George, passionate, honest, connected to real emotion. He is the view. And on the other side, you have Cecil, Intellectual, condescending, obsessed with how things look. He is the room. And poor Lucy is trapped right in the middle of this muddle. Part 4, confronting the truth. But here's the thing. You can't live a lie forever. Just when Lucy thinks she's safe and sound in her English room, guess who moves in nearby? The Emersons. Yep, her carefully constructed world is about to completely unravel, and it's going to force a final showdown with the truth. And that's the real question that hangs over this whole section of the story. To be the proper young lady engaged to Cecil, Lucy is lying to everybody. She's lying to Cecil, she's lying to her family, and, most painfully of all, she's lying to herself. And all those lies are starting to build up, creating what Forster calls this terrible muddle in her soul. The big turning point comes when old Mr. Emerson confronts Lucy directly. He sees her pain and her confusion, and he just begs her to stop hiding from her own feelings. He tells her to pull those confusing thoughts out into the sunlight and figure out what they really mean. It is such a powerful, beautiful plea for authenticity. Part 5, choosing the view. And Mr. Emerson's words, well, they're the final push she needs. Empowered by his plea for honesty, Lucy finally finds the courage to stop lying, to act on her own truth. She finally and bravely chooses the view. And this isn't some passive thing, it's a series of really brave actions. First, she breaks it off with Cecil, admitting that he just can't connect with people on a real human level. Then she finally lets herself acknowledge that she loves George, and in the ultimate act of defiance, she elopes with him, choosing a future that she wants for herself. So where do they go? Right back to where it all began. They return to that same guest house in Florence, and they stay in the very room that the Emersons first offered her, all that time ago. The story comes completely full circle. The physical place is the same, but for Lucy, everything has changed. She is no longer just looking at the view, she is the view. She's living it. This beautiful final line just confirms everything. By choosing truth and passion over safety and convention, she hasn't just found love with George. She's found this deeper, more mysterious connection to life itself. She has found herself. And so, this incredible novel leaves us with a question. Even a century later, we all still face this same choice, right? We're constantly pressured by expectations about what's proper or safe or what success looks like. So think about your own life. Are you living in a comfortable, secure room? Or are you brave enough to throw open the windows and choose the view?